This past Saturday, I had none other than Rocco the Great on my live stream with me. We had a lot of fun, and I had him rank all the top action figure companies, or at least what I considered the top action figure companies, or just off the top of my head. And I thought it ended up being a really interesting tier list. So let's get into it. I'm going to have you
Okay,
rank
let's
these
do it.
toy companies. So I tried to this was like off the cuff a couple nights ago. I just got this list together. So we can start right here at Lowell Subjects and just
Oh,
work our way across, unless you want to just pick.
I'm gonna make it spicy for you, so we won't do it in order. First, I'm gonna start with Playmates. I'm putting them D tier.
D tier? Okay.
Yeah.
As any specific reason?
So I always say, Playmates, they never step their game up. They make figures that are stuck in 1990, but they don't charge that. So it's
Yeah.
like if you're gonna get away with, like, look at those Stranger Things figures, the Turtles figures, like those should be $3.99, and
Yeah.
they're not. So Playmates, they're skating by on, I don't even know how, just because they've been around. I guess they have good relationships with stores because they
Yeah.
make some of the most dumpster worthy figures, in my opinion.
That's fair. That's a
Yeah.
fair opinion. I would say probably the only thing keeping them around is nostalgia. And
Yeah.
I'm sure they have their hands in a lot of more like kid stuff and collector stuff.
Yeah.
So but I don't think I didn't have any Playmates, but they got me. They got me, Rocco. Do you have any guess on what they recently got me with?
Sell me on it.
I can't because they're not that good. They're cool if you had any turtles, but
Okay.
it's the remastered turtles.
Again, they're still doing now. How much
Yep,
was that?
exactly. These were $12 a piece. Yeah, it's right there, and that's the only reason I did it.
It's funny because I'm looking up the last I actually have, when they did a few years ago the remake of the original 90s Turtles or whatever,
Mhm.
in the boxes that look like the old boxes. I actually bought one. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I have it right up there.
Nostalgia. That's
Probably, but that should be $8.99 maybe.
Yeah, that's fair because I opened them. I held off. I was like, you know what? I don't have anything to represent my original turtle figures from when I was
Mhm.
younger. I've got a set of the NECA movie turtles.
Yes.
I do have the IDW Best Action from Little Subjects comic turtles. Those are
Okay,
actually pretty
okay.
good. The
Okay, so
original Best Action ones were awful. Like the animated ones were absolutely awful.
okay, okay.
But I didn't have the OG
Mm,
representation, so I hopped on it, and
mhm.
they say remastered, there is added articulation. The arms are fine, the accessories are good, they come with it's
Well
cheap. They come
well, I
with
mean,
these little
like,
diorama bases that
oh,
you can
oh,
and you can
oh,
connect these.
okay,
They're like
that's
roof
cool.
block pieces,
Okay,
and
that's
they're modular. There's, like, pieces you just move around. N
alright, they're trying. They're
Yeah,
trying.
yeah,
But yeah, I just don't, I feel like like, I see some companies on here that stepped up
yeah,
recently. So Playmates, I'm still calling it D. I'm calling them
yeah.
D.
That's what I was gonna say. They're fine, but I don't think getting them in hand, I'm like, okay, they're fine for what they are, but I don't think they've earned the remastered title. I think
They
it's
get away
kinda
with too much.
they went halfway on it,
Yeah.
basically. So,
Um,
Playmates in D tier.
Now
That's
another D tier, I'm gonna start Super 7. Throw that up on there.
I'm gonna I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I agree,
Mhm.
but even though I agree, I do have some Super 7 in my collection.
I have I have one. I have the 2001 figures.
Mm,
Space Odyssey Kubrick movie, because it's the only game in town. Like, they made them and they
yeah.
sucked. So
Oh,
I
man.
have that video up on my channel. The amount of disappointment when I opened the figure, it was
Ah,
it's they were like dollar store kids meal toys. And the thing was, this is what gets me again. Playmates, they're priced, like, $12, whatever. But Super 7 says they're
mhm.
adult premium collector toys. And those figures are like what, $40 or something? No, don't worry about Mayfex. Don't worry about
Yeah.
Mayfex. We'll get there.
Yeah, Alexi Mayfex straight to S, right? Yeah, I think Alexi will come beat down my door, and he
Mm.
doesn't even know where I live, but he'll find out if we put Mayfex in D tier.
But no, but yeah,
But
Super 7, man. Their quality to price ratio is insane. It's
I I have a little bit of a hot take. I
Mhm.
think if Super 7's price point was closer to 20 rather than 55 on their ultimates, I would put it B tier.
How much was this?
That 20 bucks.
An
Yep.
indie company could do this for $20. This guy, if it's some guy making a toy company, then I give him power to him. But I go by what I have and what I
Mhm.
see. They constantly have they promote things on the pre-order and then they don't deliver on that. Like,
Yeah.
it's unacceptable. D tier. I don't even want to go any longer. Now we could do positive.
Right.
Valaverse. I'll put Valaverse S tier.
Valaverse S tier. Okay. I think I'm open to hearing more about that. I have very limited
Mm.
uh experience with Valaverse, but the experiences I do have with their figures have all been amazing.
Well, so he's an indie guy, right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
making Hasbro quality product, um, decent prices. He has the lower stuff for people hopping in. He has like a $20 figure or a $22 figure, which is
yeah,
always good. And his quality of the figures are good, and he has quality control. Like, I don't ever see anybody complaining about something breaking or falling apart. I have for the TikToks, I'm always like checking Reddit or Twitter, and I hear what people are
yeah,
saying. And I hear people say he has a little attitude, but that's just because he's
yeah.
Italian, and he's a so
You
I
gotta
totally get that. But Valaverse, keep power to him. He's an Italian person, so maybe I'm extra biased. I want to see Italian people win, but I'm great. I own some of his stuff.
Mhm,
Great company, and he's only getting started. It's a new company, and
exactly.
he's killing it. It's like, why was I hard on Playmates? They're an old company, and they're just skating by on their name. So, um, you know, that's going to be an S tier for me.
That's fair. I'd say if you have any interest in, like, if you're a fan of Power Rangers in any which way, pick up the Legend of the White Dragon figures from Valaverse. They are
Yep,
absolutely amazing.
and he has licensed figures, which is really cool for him.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
um,
Those are all very good points.
okay. Now, Mattel, man, I'm gonna give Mattel C tier
Okay.
because they've done good in the past and they've done bad in the past. And what is even Mattel doing now? What? Oh
Just
no, with the
wrestling, right?
wrestling. Hold on, no, hold on.
Uh,
They do the wrestling figures. Wrestling figures
yeah.
have never been better. Their distribution sucks. I'm
Mhm.
gonna give Mattel A tier. I'll give Mattel 4 wrestling figures with the caveat A tier.
That's fair
Yeah,
because their ultimates have gotten so good.
I like the Ultimates. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a bunch up there. Yeah, no. Okay. So I was like, what's Mattel? Because I'm thinking DC Universe Classics. You remember those?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They used to make those DC UCs like a long time ago, and they fumbled the DC license. That's how bad Mattel,
Yep.
like sucked on that. But the
Mm.
wrestling figures, okay.
So so we have them to blame for McFarlane having it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Medicom, we're gonna give Medicom S tier.
S tier? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
because well, I guess they're putting Mayfex with Medicom. I would say
Yeah.
that's yeah,
It's like the same company under the same
yeah.
umbrella. But, that's yeah, because like we were saying earlier, that's man, if they could mass produce and sell here at a lower price, like even $50 here.
Now listen to this though. Hear me glaze them, as the kids say. They are still releasing figures that they made 10 years ago. Mafex was so ahead of its time that they could put out the Wolverine buck now, and it's going for $200. You know what I mean? They could
Mm-hmm.
put that Spider-Man buck out 7 times, and people are still buying it now as if it was. They didn't even have to change anything. So they got to get the S tier for me. Their prices stink,
Yeah.
but I don't feel when I buy a Mafex, I don't feel like dirty afterwards. You know, like it sucks the price, but I feel like it delivers.
You're getting top-notch articulation. The looks are on point. They come with tons of accessories.
Extra
It's,
heads, you know.
yes. It's I have not been disappointed by Mafex yet.
Yeah.
Any gripes I have about anything, I feel like I'm nitpicking, and it's not even worth mentioning, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. So, you know, I don't want to glaze them anymore. So we'll move on. But loyal
Rocco's
subject.
shill for Mafex.
Yeah, Rocco's a shill. I'm a Mafex shill. Hey, if they want to send me stuff, I wouldn't even have to lie about it. You know, their stuff is great. Loyal subjects. I have minimal exposure to them. I've had a few figures. They actually sent me some, and I wasn't
really?
impressed. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get like boxes sometimes of companies sending me stuff. So like, I wasn't impressed with their, but I think their price point is cheap, right? Like what's a loyal subject figure?
It used to be 20. It's recently gone up to 25.
Oh, F that. I
Yeah,
almost cursed on your no.
I feel like it might have even started lower than that, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're
And
getting
because they're
better.
they're
But
like a 5-inch scale, right? It's a weird
yeah,
scale they're in.
hold on.
I had the, you know what? They sent me the Raphael with the motorcycle,
Yeah.
and
That
I was not
these
impressed with it. It was the
really okay.
quality
So
control was
so
like,
you would absolutely hate their older stuff then, because that's what I consider their best
yeah,
figures. Yeah. So I
yeah. Like
had
I
an
mean, he couldn't
original.
really get on the bike. The plastic did that. You know, like when you move the plastic and it does that white, like it was like
Yeah.
I wasn't maybe because I don't know so much about it. I think people are happy. I'll give it a C. I don't think it's horrible, but when I
Yeah.
hear $25 for that stuff,
Yeah.
they're teetering on D, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
The best thing I could say is that they do appear to be improving, but when you look at where it started and also their prices are increasing, it's yeah.
I'm gonna Google them right now. Oh, they're doing Lord of the Rings figures right now, or are those old?
Yeah. But man, they're none of them scale well together. The turtles are fine because the turtles are supposed to be smaller,
Hmm.
but like where they run into big issues are like human characters. It's
Oh, so
just
like their Rock Steady is the same size as all the turtles and stuff?
yeah, or like Casey
No.
Jones or Shredder, they look really small.
Oh yeah, their gizmo is humongous. I remember
Yeah.
seeing that in the store.
Yeah.
No, F them. They're I'm giving them a courtesy. I'm giving them a courtesy C, but I'm about to, if I think about it more, they're going down to D.
They might be, but
All
if
right,
you say
let's
C,
D them. Let's D
D,
them.
okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Now
So ooh,
let's go positive.
okay,
Jada Toys S tier
yeah, I'm down with that.
for multiple reasons.
Did you ever get Chester Cheetah?
No.
It's amazing. That
Their Street Fighter figures are awesome.
mhm.
Their Mega Man figure, I hope it was just mine. I was impressed by, because I loved that Mega Man and I was excited for it, but the quality, I didn't post my video because
uh,
I was disappointed and I felt like I didn't get a video out of it. And it was just like I was excited in the beginning and then I was disappointed and I didn't even want to give them any promotion. I was like, "Oh, this sucked."
yeah.
But their price isn't that bad, right? What are they, like $20?
Yeah, right, 2025. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what I paid, but yeah, the Mega Man figure, the Street Fighter I was high on, the few ones I had, but the Mega Man figure I was like I like it and I'm happy to own one that's like it, but the quality was not good. I felt like I was going to break some stuff. Like the
Mhm.
plastic felt like when Hasbro gets cheap and it's gummy, and
Oh,
then it
yeah.
was scratched up and everything. I hope I got a
Mm,
bad one, but
yeah.
everything else, like their new Cyberpunk figures look amazing. I'm definitely gonna buy those. So but they're a new company and they're firing on all cylinders action figure wise. So they're gonna get S tier for me.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, they've come out just swinging with everything.
Yeah,
Oh, we still got some good ones down
yeah.
here. I'm
Maybe A
curious.
tier. They might be an A tier, but I think S tier for now.
Yeah, okay.
Now Diamond Select, I have been with like Diamond Select has been sent. They were the first company to ever send me stuff. I'm friends with Zach. I've been I talk with the company like a relationship with the company for
Yeah.
years. They have a lot of good figures and then they have a lot of interesting figures. But one thing I always say with them is like they're not you don't go for them for the articulation. Their sculpts are always really good.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but they could be better, and I feel like they have been getting better. Like their Red Hulk was awesome. That Gameverse Spider-Man is awesome. Their new Fantastic Four figures are fantastic.
Uh,
So I will give Diamond an easy A,
an A. Okay.
but it
Okay.
could be a B. But I'm gonna give them an A because I like where they're going. Like the Lord of the Rings figures, I have them right here. Like these are great. Like the sculpt is awesome. So if you're
Oh,
for articulation wise, they're not great. They're like Mythic Legions actually, pretty much. They have
yeah.
single jointed elbows and stuff, but they look great. Like I have my Stormtrooper from Diamond Select on display, not my Black Series one.
Oh, really?
Like
Oh,
that figure came with extra hands, extra weapons. Like I was impressed with their Stormtrooper. I always go back to that figure, but
but
um
for
yeah,
Diamond
like
Select to be, I'm sorry. I mean,
they're definitely not God tier. They're not S
no,
tier for sure.
for them
Uh
to be such a prevalent company and an older company, a lot of their releases seem to kind of fly under the radar a little bit. I know you see them at like comic shops a lot and stuff like that.
yeah, like they can't they lost Toys R Us and it was a big
Uh,
blow because I don't know why they had a thing with Walgreens and it didn't work. Uh they used to be in Target, not anymore. I don't know what is going on. Why can't Marvel Selects be on the shelves at Target? Like I could see them in the fan section, like that NECA
yeah,
section.
yeah,
They have Disney and Universal. They're in the Universal Studios, the theme park, and they're at the Disney World. But I don't know. There's a few things like you know, their Hulk figure is good. The Apocalypse. Everyone always says their big characters are good.
yeah.
Um,
That's in
but yeah, I would
my
say B or A or B. I would say,
okay.
but I'll give them A. I'm gonna give Four Horsemen A also because they're great, but they are, industry professionals and they could be making, like that Red Knight that everyone's going, or the Valiant Knight with the
Yeah,
double jointed elbows, everyone's going crazy for. And that should be the standard. And
yeah.
I looked at their newest wave on BBTS to pre-order, and like the females still have like those old single jointed elbows, and like
Mhm.
I'm not seeing things like getting better. And they've been a company for like what, a decade now,
Yeah,
so their sculpts are great, the paint is great, but I want personally, because I'm a big fan, I want more.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully they keep improving, and like you said, it's overdue, but at least they're showing signs now of it. But like all these companies, like
that
they could get left in the dust if they
th-
don't
I'm
hurry up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Mythic Legions is big, but uh, you start everyone. We have the Brutal Realm that they
Hmm.
just got funded, so that's a company. They're gonna make those figures. They have Dave Vonner, the old Toy Biz, worker on that case. Those figures are gonna be good. Savage Crucible, the D13, the Jesus figures. All these new brands are coming out with mythical creature characters, and Mythic Legions could have some more
Hmm.
competition. So, dude,
Savage Crucible is going to give them a problem if this. Oh man,
I'm gonna give Figuarts S tier But there's a but in there. They do a lot of things wrong, but
Mhm.
when they do things right, they're amazing. But I don't like their practices.
Yeah.
Predatory practices with the DLC stuff now. They overcharge and they really F us over, especially with that Goku from San Diego Comic-Con. I was not happy about that.
I wanted that so bad, but I just couldn't pull the trigger on the online order. I
Dude, I
had
bought the online one. It came out to $120 or something. That
yep.
is for the $35 retail Goku we got a million times. I was
Mhm.
sick to my stomach. Sick to my stomach.
But
Yeah.
those he looks amazing, but with how many Gokus we've gotten, there's no reason that shouldn't have been more of like a $55 release.
Just yeah,
It's
like we already had a Cloud Nimbus. I mean, it's bigger. We had that Gohan was thrown in with Raditz. It's similar size. And
yeah,
like it Figure Arts is losing me. I'm being
yeah.
100% honest. I say it in my videos. They're losing me with almost every release. The prices keep getting higher. I'm a YouTuber. I could tax write them off. I make a little money on the videos, hopefully. They really never the Figure Arts videos, they're so expensive. They really never make the money back.
Yeah.
I just buy them because I love them, but it's like I got more selective. Like you said, I'm getting good. I'm not going to pick up any super. I canceled a few figures that I was going to get, like the
Mhm.
Frieza, Mecha Frieza. I don't need that. I'm
Yeah.
you back in the day, I used to buy two of every figure, and now I barely buy one of them. So,
And
yeah,
you would think they would definitely try to like tighten up what they've got going on with you've got the third party companies nipping at their heels. The Maniacal Fit, Black Hole Toys.
their third party companies are doing amazing work. Like Demoniacal Fit, that 3.0 Goku is ridiculous. It,
Yeah.
it sells for like $100 right now. That's how
Yeah.
like people want it. So, um, I always competition is always good for the consumer. So I really I'm happy about. You know what? Put them in A tier.
A tier. That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I'm and put Jada Toys in A tier too. I don't believe I'm not ready to give them S tier
Okay.
status. Yeah.
I'd say Jada's probably on their way up, while
Yes. Yeah, and
SH
Figure Arts is
Figure
on their
Arts
way
is
down.
yeah. The only thing they're saving grace right now, I think, uh, I I kind of feel like it's market manipulation in a way. With think about when the prices started going up, what started popping up at retail stores, those $35 releases,
Yeah.
to because it's that first hit to get people into the
And get you
line.
in, yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
and
good, but then
yeah.
the rest of the figures shouldn't be so much though. Hasbro, I'm gonna give
Oof.
Hasbro A tier because with all the things they do wrong, they put out a consistently good product. I don't like their
Mhm,
pricing, and
mhm.
I don't like the holding the good figures hostage, taking the build to piece figures out. Like, I don't like that stuff, but I'm not gonna be phony or lie. Like the product, when it is
Yeah.
good, is great. So,
And I've seen you've recently gotten to the classified line, and
oh yeah, that's
man,
Hasbro too. Yeah, okay, yeah, that
they're
is great.
yeah, that should be their model for everything.
Yeah,
That should be how they handle everything. And it's
yeah,
not without its flaws, but man, it's I had some Joes growing up, but I wasn't really into them. But
yeah. I I was not
I have
into
classified.
anything, any
That's
Joes. Yeah,
but Hasbro, you take the good with the bad, and
mhm.
the the biggest issue is they're the biggest company, pretty much. So we get all the crappy stuff with it, but we still do get some amazing figures.
They know what they could get away with. We get taken
Exactly.
advantage of, but we also like when I bought that Shield 3-pack, it's right there. I have to do a review. The Luke Cage 2-pack, like I wasn't happy about spending 50, $60 on two figures, but like I don't feel bad afterwards with what I have. Like
Mhm.
I would have liked it a lot more if it was like $30 or something, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
this is what they cost now. So yeah, I think A is a easy. They're not S tier yet.
let's do Jack specific next. Now, uh, that's you're talking like, the new Simpsons line,
Mhm.
the Mario World line. I think they do Sonic. It's kind of like that cheap, that more like $12.
I don't have an opinion on this one, so I'll let you place it.
Um, I would say so. None of it's amazingly articulated, but I think they really knock it out of the park with character selection.
Mm,
So I would say B, because it's
yeah.
not great, but it's definitely not bad either. It's
Mm.
something that's there for its audience, and I feel like they know who their audience is.
Uh, I'll pick up those Nintendo figures at the flea market when I see
Mhm.
them for like $1, and
Yeah,
they're
they're
always
fine.
like pretty solid. I feel
I
like we
would
could get rid of
respect.
Bandai quick because that kind of is the same
Yeah,
as figure art. So I'll put that Bandai is I think I'll say A tier
A tier.
because
Yeah,
they
I
make a
think.
lot of other things and they're pretty
Mhm.
good.
Whenever I think Bandai, I think like the older. I think
Gundam.
like the Power Rangers and stuff. I know they still do. Bandai does like the Dragon Stars and the
Mm,
animated heroes lines, right? Isn't that
yeah,
Bandai?
yeah, those are pretty rough.
Yeah. And they do what
Maybe
what is it?
B.
Tekken?
Maybe I'll say B. Because
Yeah.
they're not good, but they're not bad. You're right. If we're going for those toy lines,
The Dragon Stars line I feel like keeps looking worse and worse the longer it goes.
they just poop it out.
Yeah.
They do the
But
anime heroes also. Those figures are just they're just like
yeah.
they're not
Yeah.
figures. They're not good, and the plastic is so hard that they're not good figures. I would say maybe C. Let's give a C.
See, that's
Yeah,
fair. That's
yeah.
fair.
And Jazzwares, I'm gonna give C also because they were on fire with the AEW figures, but then once
Mhm.
you look at them now, you go like it was all hype. The quality was never there, and they're not good figures, in my opinion.
Yeah. I with Jazz Warriors, my main thing with them is the Pokemon Select line.
Oh,
That's
hold on.
amazing. But even it has its issues with scale within
Oh
itself.
yeah, wait,
But
look,
I do.
you're giving away. I have the figure right here. Hold on. Isn't that funny? Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this Charizard's pretty amazing
It's
for what
I
it, for what it was, $15, $20.
20, yeah. It's good, man.
Yeah,
It's
that's pretty
good.
good. Okay, never
I,
mind. For Pokemon, but if I'm saying Jazzwares Pokemon, but like you said though, it's good that we have a Pokemon line, but the figures aren't perfect either. So maybe a
no.
B. I would give them a B.
I think that's fair. That's
Would you
fair.
say if or you're thinking A?
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't put him at A
I wouldn't put him at A
because
either, yeah.
because like you said, also you got to think about the AEW figures and how they've really kind of fumbled that with they refuse to update them, and they're just
They're
that's
not
the only thing I see like on my Walmart shelves is AEW figures basically.
now McFarlane. Let's go McFarlane
Hmm.
because this one.
This is a tough one. This
I mean, I have. Oh, here we go. I have the Arkham figures. I have a custom cape on him. The figures
oh,
again are not bad, but they're not good either.
yeah. This I've had some good ones, and
Yeah,
the Captain Carrot by McFarlane is one of my favorite figures in my collection, just because of how dumb it is, but it's also just a good figure. I had no like background on the character at all.
oh,
He's
okay. So
just
just
a
as
comic book
figures,
character.
figure
Yeah,
speaking, you're saying it's cool. Okay, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
But I saw it in like the local store. I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up, whatever. And
I
dude,
like
it's just
that. I like
awesome.
when you just see a figure. That's why toy
It's
hunting
fun.
should be fun because I should just go into Target and be like, oh, that's a cool looking figure, and then I'll pick it up.
That's what we did when we were kids.
Yeah.
We weren't collecting whole lines when you're
Mm,
like 8 years old. It's like,
no.
oh, that guy looks cool. That guy looks cool, and
Yeah.
you have to pick.
Mm.
So, but
I would say B. What would you
B,
say?
oh, mm, I can get behind B.
You want to say A?
I I want to say C.
Yeah. Oh, C.
Ooh,
Yeah,
just
I'll give it a
because,
C. I'll give him a C.
oh man, for every figure that I think is pretty good by him, I get a figure in my hand where I'm like, what the heck is this crap?
Yeah.
That that Wonder Woman figure he did, where we finally got the Wonder Woman we all wanted.
Oh, with no ab crunch?
Dude, she was just terrible, man. her butterfly joints, right?
Yeah.
The piece of plastic was so thin, you move the butterfly joint, you just see a huge gap.
Oh, is
And
it the
the
one though?
lasso would just fall off her belt. It
Was it
was
like that
awful.
special box one?
No, it was like a regular. I don't know if he called it like a special release or
Hmm.
something,
He's
but
always
it
saying
was
things
hard
are
to find
special. Yeah.
everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked good when
Mm.
you didn't try to pose it around.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
and that's the thing is, I feel like his figures are such an awkward scale and stuff. They're not playable. I've
yeah,
never picked up one. I have a few.
yeah,
I've never touched them. I've never toy photography or played with them. So I never posed them around. Like they're awkward. Like I can't even. I just love the Arkham City games so
yeah,
much that I was like, I have to get these, but I'm not happy about them.
yeah.
So no, yeah, I C is safe. I'd say
Yeah.
C.
Because I can't put him any lower because I'm still getting a few of his figures. Like
They're
I
not
know the
horrible, but they're not great.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he could do so much better is my main reason because he could easily be up in
He could
A
totally do
tier.
much better. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
he's coasting along, and I mean he's making his money, so I
Oh,
don't know, man.
listen, Todd himself, I love Todd.
Oh
So
yeah,
he's
yeah.
a genius. He is a great person to follow, like if you want inspiration, like his story and
Yeah.
everything.
I think a lot of it comes through too that I think he said before that he doesn't necessarily like articulation. He would prefer just to make statues.
Oh my god, yeah, he hates it. And I remember
Yeah,
Shartimus once at a Comic-Con, like really checked him on it, and he just flat out said, like, like I don't one, I think it's because he doesn't get it. I don't think he understands
yeah,
like action figure community, but also the money. It's more money. No,
yeah. So
articulation is money, and he why would he want that? He sells,
mhm.
he sold statues almost his whole career. You know,
Yeah. My thing then would be like, I'm sure you could get a statue license for DC and let some other company like a Jada or a Valaverse or somebody
yeah,
have a shot at the DC action figure, the 6-inch or 7-inch action figure license. Please make it 6-inch, not 7.
yeah,
But
hmm,
but I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of legalese that goes into that and all that. But
probably.
so, what are your opinions on Mezco?
Okay, so I have a thing where with Mezco is I very early back, I still remember the Joker, like the original Joker figure they made. I had I bought one on eBay, but it was brand new. And the arm broke or something, like the elbow broke, that elbow piece. They were only single jointed
Oof,
elbows, right?
yeah,
So, I don't like bothering when I buy something on eBay. If it's like sealed, it's not the guy's fault. Like I'm
yeah,
not gonna go bother. I sell stuff on eBay too. It's like I don't like to bother eBay people if it's not their fault as much as possible. If the post office people lose the package or whatever, that's not the guy's fault. So I had a problem early on, and I remember messaging the company on Facebook, I think even, because I was trying, just like, hey, I have a broken thing, just like, figuring out what it was because this was very early. It was like 10 years ago, whatever, almost whatever
yeah.
that line started, and I still remember the quote. The guy was saying, first of all, they had an attitude, like not a good customer service, and then they said, "You're not our customer." Because I think I
Oh,
was saying, like, you're going to talk to a customer like that or something like that. Because the guy was being very rude. I wasn't just not helpful, but just he could have just said, hey, we don't have replacements. We just don't do that stuff. Sorry that happened, or whatever, anything. And I wasn't I don't even know. I was just like, maybe I get a replacement arm. I don't know.
yeah.
So and I remember they said you're not our customer. And I was just like, oh wow. And I never after that, since that day, I
Mm,
never bought anything from them ever again. And if I buy a Mezco figure, it's from someone on from someone selling it secondhand and usually cheaper. And I've never supported them since. So
mm.
I had that bad experience. I love, they did a few movie figures that I love, like Clockwork Orange. Where when are you going to get that figure a
Oh,
lot? And
never.
so they, they have the Batman figures are great, but boy, man, I never want to support them. And now I see like they take like 5 years to make a figure that it was a
That
pre-order. They canceled the Planet of the Apes figures. They showed us
oh,
the Conquest Caesar figure, A 4-pack, never ever spoken about again. So to me, honestly, I would give them I wouldn't give them D tier because the product is a good product, but the pricing and the way they treat people and like I feel like maybe I'll give them C because I don't want to be disingenuous, but
Oh,
boy,
gotcha.
a
That
negative experience with that company.
it's all in how you say something. They could have easily said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we don't have any more stock of that
Yeah.
product."
Yeah, no
Just
problem. Yeah, or just like, I was just like, how is there any way I could fix this? It's like F you. So I was like,
yeah,
yeah, no,
it's
after that I'll never and I'm so proud. I've never supported them ever since. So
I know that's tough because I know Mezco has a lot of big followers.
yeah,
I've
you ever
gotten
see me talk about them on my channel? They don't get
nope,
any promotion from me. I don't
nope.
post any pictures of them. I don't give them anything. So
I don't
Mezco's
blame you.
they're dead to me. So
I've gotten one Mezco figure. It was the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger,
oh
and it
nice.
was amazing. It was
Yeah.
awesome, but it was almost too premium.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting rid of it because I didn't wanna mess with it. I didn't wanna pose
Yeah.
it up or anything. I
And
was
that is the thing. Their stuff is
yeah,
not good long run. Everyone's gonna see like cloth at that angle in the spandex form, not like
mhm,
just like the wrestling figures or like like my goose fob has like the loose stuff. That like spandex rubber that they use,
yeah,
it's not gonna last, and people's figures are gonna be like falling apart just
yeah,
from time with Mezco. So I could not be. You know what? I'll give them a C because the stuff that they no, because the Batman figure people were mad with the rubber, the 5 years.
yeah.
I'm gonna give him D. I'm gonna give him a
See,
D.
I
Yeah,
think that I think that's fair, especially I mean, and objectively, you can be someone out here watching that absolutely loves Mezco,
yeah.
but you have to be able to also look at the negative. And
There's too many negatives for sometimes
yeah,
their figures being great. Yeah, in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. That's
Um,
I definitely understand your opinion being that low with that first interaction with them too, and just yeah, uh, when your figures are when you don't want to pose them up at that point, that's why I got rid of the Green Ranger. I was like, well, why do I even have it if
it's
I'm
too
just gonna have it
fragile
just
feeling,
standing
right?
there?
Like you were
Yeah,
gonna the elbow was gonna stick through the rip
yeah.
the stitching or
I
something
like
eventually.
oh,
Yeah,
let me go wash my hands one more time before I touch the cloth because it's got white
right?
on it. I
And
don't
then
want to
you're gonna get a
smudge
stain.
anything.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, that's Esco D tier. I know some people are gonna be mad about that one, but
That's
that's
okay.
hey man.
Yeah. Yeah, is it okay for 5 years for the Batman figure to take?
Absolutely not.
That's nuts.
And then some people didn't they have it, like, instantly disintegrate in their hands?
Yeah, the
Like,
rubber,
yeah.
I know because the 3A figures, is a toy line from an artist that I love. That toy line actually inspired me to make my figures. So, I remember they had a problem with the rubber on a Lastronaut figure, and it got delayed for so long because they were having a problem. The rubber, the articulation would stick through and all that stuff, and I know,
Mm,
from that on that scale especially, all those garbage. That Batman figure, just throw it out now because it's going to be done. Okay.
yeah.
Uh Revel Tech, I can't believe it, but I don't own anything from Revel Tech. People have been asking me about the Spider-Man 2.0 to review. Um that's like their figures are like really for poser people, like
Mhm.
posing, not posers. And I would like to try them out, but I've only heard good things. They're very pricey and they're hard to get. So I will give
Mhm.
them A tier because I have not heard anything negative about them, and I know that their stuff is good. When a company could re-release stuff for a long like a while and people are excited about it, that's a good company. So
Yeah.
um I'm sure if I had one of their figures in hand, I could give them a higher rating, but I think an A is safe
Do
on that
you,
one.
I know you're not big on Disney, especially right now. Do you
Especially now, yeah.
yeah. Did you watch, like, the Lilo and Stitch movie? Did you
I
ever
never
like that?
saw that.
No.
Yeah, I never saw Lilo and Stitch.
The Stitch figure, if you can get it for, like, that you can get in on, like, getting it from, like, a Japanese site where you can get it for, like, 40 or
Oh,
50
they made
bucks.
a Revel Attack?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
going for crazy. It was going for, like, $300 aftermarket.
Disney
But
people are crazy, yeah.
yeah, man, but they re-released it. They did a rerun of it, and I've
Okay.
actually got it on my shelf. It doesn't do a lot, but it does enough for I'm happy with it because I wanted a good Stitch.
Yeah, he's a cool
So
character. I've seen him around, you know?
yeah, yeah. So, but I know there's some really cool third party or knockoffs going around
Yeah.
too of a lot of Revoltech, Amazing
Yeah,
Yamaguchi
yeah, the
stuff.
Flash that everyone's buying that Agent
Hmm.
Flash Revel
Yeah,
bootleg and they're saying it's amazing for
yeah.
18 bucks. So maybe I'll
Um,
try that for the I buy, I buy stuff for the channel sometimes. So
oh yeah.
it's funny because my bootleg videos do great, and it's
Hmm.
usually the cheapest figures ever. And then like
Yeah.
I'll buy a Bandai $100, and they'll do okay, but you can never make that money back. Like that price is too high for a figure. I really pulled back.
Yep.
Now NECA, I saved this one for last for a reason because I used to be the biggest NECA fan. I loved it.
Sure.
NECA's from Jersey. I would go to local cons and actually get their stuff like for cheap. So I
Hmm.
I I have a huge NECA collection. But they lost me over the last few years, not putting out any new licenses, not putting out any figures, and they're going backwards. They're re-releasing that Beetlejuice figure, that Hannibal Lecter figure, and they're charging premium prices. That's disgusting.
Mm.
That Beetlejuice figure should be $10. Like
Yep.
no
Yep.
updates, less stuff. They took out the accessories that it used to come with, made it like it looks cheap. It's in a little packaging. That should have been $10. And it's 25. That is disgusting. Their articulation, they're going backwards. They were giving figures double jointed elbows and stuff. And now I'm noticing their new figures have single joints again. So
Mm.
I am so disappointed. I was the biggest NECA fan. I love NECA. I have a million of them. The thing too is they re-release stuff so much, nothing's worth anything. So you can't even give away some of this stuff.
Mm.
I'm gonna give them a B now. But they would have a few years ago, I would have gave them S tier.
Oh man, I really thought you were gonna go lower
All
because
right, give them a C.
a C.
I mean,
That's
I went from buying only NECA to I haven't bought a NECA in years. That's a failure of a company, in my
yeah.
opinion.
That's thinking the only NECA I own. I have the first movie Turtles, and those are pretty good.
I mean, they're
I have a
cool, but
RoboCop.
they're really not that good though.
Nah,
You
nah,
can't do
they
much.
look nice.
They look nice, but
Yeah.
you can't do much with them.
Mm-mm.
I have some of the cartoon turtles too. Like I'm not impressed. I know people they were like people go crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It's
NECA turtle fans are insane. And I
those
guess it's cool,
things,
like, to have the figures, right? Like, I get it. They're figures people want, but, like, judging as a figure, not impressed.
and that is an expensive line to go all in on. I
Oh,
oof, man.
what expensive hobbies we have, right?
Right? Yeah, it's that's you gotta have a hobby.
Gotta have it's better than
It's
doing crack, I always say.
that's what I always say. I tell my wife, I'm like, at least
Yeah.
I'm not like sitting in a bar drinking my life away. I guess I'm looking at this tier list, and I can't say I disagree with any of it. I think that's a good tier list. So
Yeah.
that's so everybody know that Rocco hates everything under S tier. That's
Yes.
that's what we're
I
saying.
yeah, I
That's
would say so. But I feel like A tier is pretty solid.
yeah.
Um, and I think A tier is great, and anything below it sucks, I think. Yeah.
Right. There we go. Go ahead and clip
Yeah.
that. Clip that.
Yeah, clip that one.